Hi girls and boys. Last time I showed you an over-under. Wondering what to do once you finish the pass, how to finish them, and how to finish them without getting stuck in an annoying quarter guard or having them turtle away. Back into guard. So annoying. Well, I've got a good solution for you. And it applies lots of pressure. Goody. So, I have this nice crossface here, and I want to get my shoulder right underneath his chin, because remember, it's important to make his head turn. This makes it harder for him to shrimp. I have my gable grip here, and it's right at his shoulder so I can lift him up if I need to, while keeping tight at the same time. My knee is blocking his hip near side. This is in case he tries to shrimp in. I have something to follow and block. From here, I'm going to keep just as tight as I was before in this entire transition. So I'm going to let go of my gable grip, and I'm going to use my underhook to pull him up at his shoulder. I keep my hand wrapped tightly around that shoulder with my fingers neat and close together. Now I'm going to pull him up to his side. You'll notice as I pull him up to his side, I don't allow a lot of space. So if he goes back down, it doesn't look like this. If I do that, yep, I'm allowing too much space for him to frame and get back to guard. So I apply that good old pressure, and I lean forward as I press this hand around his shoulder and pull. My elbow barely lifts off his body and wraps now around his chest and armpit. I can use this hand now to push his head down, keeping my knee near side to me, tucked tightly into his armpit. Push on his head, and now step this leg over. Again, I don't want to allow a lot of space with this transition. So, for demonstrative purposes, you do want to step with this leg. But when you step, you want it to be super tight against his body, barely allowing any space. My knee aims for the back of his gi. If he has a patch on it, you want to hit the center of that patch. Now, I'm going to circle over. When I circle over, my shin goes over his bicep like a windshield wiper. This allows me to apply pressure onto his bicep and get nice and sunk into the head sit position. My weight goes down into the bottom half of my body. I'm still keeping his arm wrapped tightly. Now I'm going to transition to a figure four with my arms and hands. I grab my wrist, my other hand grabs his wrist. I don't allow a lot of space like this. I keep everything nice and tight. Now I have the option, if I need to go to Kimura. First going away and then coming up. But if he's keeping that grip nice and tight, I also have the option of going to armbar. So I'm going to lean forward, all my weight on him, not back, not side to side, but on him, and circle. That shin that I windshield wiped across his bicep now wraps over his head and ensures that he won't come up when I fall to my armbar. I pop up and lean on him. Not back again, but on him. I really want to squish him. Now I'm going to fall back. And when I do, I pinch my knees together, because I need to trap his elbow between my thighs, right? If he gets this elbow through, no armbar for me. Now with this leg, I can do one of two things, as CJ here likes to call it. I can smash the grate by applying pressure with my thigh to make his face turn, making it hard for him to bump and bridge. Or I can squeeze the grate and bring my heel in towards his neck, wrapping it around like a snake. I keep everything tight here, still figure fouring, fingers neatly together, as my professor Eduardo would say. And now I'm going to fall towards his head and then straighten out. Applying pressure at the wrist, squeezing with my thighs, pinching my knees, and hipping up. Finish my pass, sink in my cross face, shoulder underneath his chin, turning, underhook sunken, knee blocking the near side hip. I pull him up to his side using the underhook. My knee slides into his armpit. My elbow tucks underneath his armpit. Push with the opposite hand down on the head and step nice and tightly. My knee hits the back of his gi, center of the patch. You can bring your knees in to make it tighter. And on this side, my shin is going to windshield wipe his bicep. And now from here, not coming up, but keeping tightly as usual, I slide in to figure 4, grabbing his wrist, my wrist. I can go for the Kimura, turning this way first and then that way. Or I can go for my armbar, leaning forward, coming up with the shin that went over the bicep. It now comes over the head and face of your partner. I put all my weight forward onto him and then come down. Pinching my knees, squeezing my thighs, and either smashing the grate or squeezing the grate. Fall towards his head, straighten out, squeezing and keeping pressure on that wrist.